the subject of the use of artificial life forms in film, it's so wide-ranging because we've seen everything. We've seen it from the absolute simplest, the robot as tool. The robot is just a hammer, the extension of the man, all the way to where the robot becomes God. I mean, we've seen artificial intelligence in every way possible. In Colossus the Foreman Project, the artificial intelligence isn't even on camera. It's hidden behind computer screens, and it outthinks everyone. It's in charge of the world. And we've seen Robbie the Robot in Forbidden Planet, the perfect servant. We've seen robots go wild and tear people apart. We've seen them as just little subservient creatures like R2-D2. Artificial intelligence has been shown in every imaginable way possible.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Artificial intelligence started out very simply. Robots were servants, because that's the way we saw them. We saw them as merely machines, and machines were the servants of mankind. In the 50s, when machines became a threat to mankind, suddenly robots did too.
This weapon will be powerful, versatile, and indestructible.
We started to see the birth of the computer. After the atomic bomb came the computer, and as the computer became our friend, robots also became our friend, but also cold intellect began to disturb people, and so we began to see robots, or I should say artificial intelligence, depicted in sort of a two-pronged fashion. We saw it as benevolent and wise and guiding us into the future, and we also saw it as sinister monsters that could destroy us at any time.
I did not murder him!
Most recognizable forms of artificial intelligence in science fiction movies is what many people call the Pinocchio syndrome. The robot, the android, whatever, that strives to be more, that consciously on its own wants to be more than the some of its programming. I mean, obviously, if we go to Star Trek's Data, who in the first episode of the TV show, they actually use the word Pinocchio. So, I mean, it's pretty well established that they had that in mind.
Resistance is futile.
Frankenstein, the original Pinocchio, I mean, something built of parts by a person to be a servant who, I mean, eventually does run amok. I mean, Frankenstein is the very first science fiction story, and it fits very well into both of these categories, but eventually it is one of those life forms that runs amok.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
In war games, we have the computer that practically is intelligent. It's not so much intelligent, it's just a computer that gets out of control. So you have one that can give itself human birth all the way down to the lowest level of just barely conscious. The ones that run amok, we've seen them in every film.
Is this a game or is it real?
Most recently, the Matrix films, of course. Very obvious. Artificial intelligence gone amok and actually subjugating the entire world. I mean, the movie starts out with people not even aware that they've been subjugated.
Now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo.
Even in the Terminator series, where they decide, well, we'll just take over all the leaders of the world and replace them with artificial humans because we know best. The evil overlord syndrome almost always is either we know best or the humans are destroying us and we have to get rid of them. Very rarely does artificial intelligence actually act evil because it's hard for intelligence to be evil.
Once, he was programmed to destroy the future.
You don't know what it's like to try to kill one of these things.
Now his mission...
Get down!
...is to protect it.
The last major category would, of course, be the most sweeping one, and that's servants and protectors, because it's the one that goes back the furthest. I mean, the first artificial intelligences were servants. In the silent movies, heavens, everything was a servant. The electric stairs, the electric chair, etc., etc. But as movies went on, we got things like Silent Running with the little robots that ran around and just did the bidding of the pilot. But then we get things like C-3PO and R2-D2. Robbie the Robot, of course, would be the most famous servant. I mean, the complete and utter, robotic butler. In Terminator, we see an interesting transposition as the, in quotes, evil robot from the first movie becomes the good robot in the second movie. And of course, to the robots, it's all a matter of programming and instructions that have been put into their system. There is no good and evil. The good and evil is only imposed upon them once again from the outside, from the human interpretation of the robot's actions.
Come with me if you want to live. I'll be back.